Welcome to Little Bighorn Treasure Hunting Sources 11. Today I'm going to talk about the election of Sitting Bull as the Supreme War Commander of the Seven Nations. And I'm going to show you some just really cool marks of all the tribes of the Seven Nations and what their Togia symbol is. And once again, this is just an attempt to keep the Togia language alive. And for those in the nations who are of the various tribes, if you don't know your symbol of your tribe, I hope to show that to you today. And that would be thanks to Benjamin Black Elk and Wendell Grandgard. And the election of Sitting Bull as a Supreme Commander began in 1869. And there's a difference whether it was the Rosebud or up from the Powder River, but it was by the Yellowstone River, and the Seven Nations gathered together to do something they had never done before, and that was to elect one leader for war only. And so what they did is they set up a special council lodge with the camp of the Seven Nations, and Chief Four Horns, the uncle of the Hunkpapa tribe and Sitting Bull, he was the chief of the Hunkpapa tribe and Sitting Bull's uncle, he ordered from the Slotis, who were the gun traders. Most of the time they were mixed bloods or half French Indian, but they were able to deal with the white people and get the guns. And he ordered 7 of the new 1866 Winchester rifles. And they were brought, and they believe that it came back in the spring or early summer of 1870. And each one of the tribe's chiefs picked a presenter who was a sub-chief or a very important person in the tribe to be his presenter. And that presenter went to the Slotas, S-L-O-T-A-S, and traded buffalo hides for one of the 1866s. All 7 tribes did the same thing. And then 4 of the presenters went to Sitting Bull's lodge. They had him come out, they wrapped a robe around him and escorted him to the special council lodge that had the sides of the lodge raised up so all the people gathered around could watch the ceremony. Outside of the lodge's entrance, which is on the west side, actually the east side, and the place of importance and prominence in the lodge was due west from the east side. They took the robe off of Sitting Bull, they put it on the ground, he sat on the robe, and then they picked up 4 corners and they carried him into that place of honor directly across from the entrance, the west side. Then each one of the chiefs from the 7 tribes gave the presenter the 1866 Winchester that they had traded on, and that presenter carried that and set it on the robe inside the lodge in front of Sitting Bull. Each 66 was the vote of that tribe to elect Sitting Bull as the Supreme Commander. Now, I received or bought a carbine that was a Sharps percussion carbine, and it had the hammer broken off of it, and I had sent pictures to Wendell, and I was about ready to go visit him with a friend and go to the Sioux Falls, South Dakota gun show. And he calls me up when I'm at the friend's house, we're just getting ready to leave, and says, "Have I got a story to tell you when you get here?" And so this is what his letter said. "During my examination of this Sharps, serial number C44272, I discovered the name Bluecoat Sans Art written in Togia on the right side of the stock as part of the following Togia message. Bluecoat Sans Art. Me Watani Warrior Society rode with Aglala, Brule, Cheyenne, Bigfoot, Hunkpapa, Minikanju, Gifted, Headman, Sitting Bull." This is shown on illustration 1. Blue coat is found on the left side of the stock along with the mark of the Miwatani Warrior Society is shown on illustration 2. Blue Coat Sans Arc was also found written on the right and left sides of the forend as shown on illustrations 3 and 4. Blue Coat was born in 1846 to San Arc parents, and he was selected by San Arc's chief Spotted Eagle to join the Special Warrior Society, the Miwatani. The society was responsible for protecting and counseling and caring for the needs of the head chief of the San Arc. The members of the society usually never married and were also responsible for any children of the chief. A significant event occurred to Blue Coat, which he documented on this carbine. All the nations were gathered on the south side of the Yellowstone River, a few miles above the mouth of the Powder River, to select a head chief of the nations. It was the moon of the Wispazuki, moon of good berries, or June. In the year of 30 crows killed, 1870, Blue Coat was rode together, which I interpret to also mean participated in together in this case. This group is the Council of Seven, or the Seven Tribes of the Nations, which included the Oglala, led by Chief Red Cloud, the Hunkpapa, led by Chief Four Horns, the Brule, led by Spotted Tail, the Cheyenne, led by Chief Two Moon, the Minneconjou, led by Chief Lame Deer, the San Arc, led by Chief Spotted Eagle, and the Blackfoot, led by Chief Kills Eagle. In order to explain the part of the message, Gifted Headman Sitting Bull, we need to go back to 1869 when Four Horns told the Slota to bring 7 Yellow Boys, the new Winchester Model 1866 rifles, to him. I believe he wanted to introduce the idea of a head chief of the nations, which had never been done before, and these Yellow Boys were used as a gift for each of the 7 tribal chiefs to the new head chief. The gift would be the same from each tribe, so each chief would have the same status with the head chief. When the Slota brought the Yellow Boy rifles, each tribal presenter traded buffalo hides for the rifles. I believe Blue Coat was the presenter of the San Arc, and he traded his hides to the Slota for the model 1866 Winchester rifle, serial number 27,670, for Chief Spotted Eagle to give to the new leader of the nations. I believe each tribal presenter did the same, and the following weapons were selected. Crazy Horse traded for serial number 27,816 for Chief Red Cloud. Flying By traded for serial number 27,873 for his father, Chief Lame Deer. Short Bull traded for serial number 27,913 for Chief Spotted Tail. White Bull Ice traded for serial number 27,549 for Chief Two Moon. Crow King traded for serial number 26,118 for Chief Four Horns, and John Grass Charging Bull traded for serial number 27,147, which was the only 1866 Winchester carbine for Chief Kills Eagle. After Sitting Bull was elected the head chief of the nations, each of these model 1866 Winchesters were gifted to him. Blue Coat fought in the Indian Wars beside Chief Spotted Eagle, and they followed Sitting Bull into Canada. Spotted Eagle decided to surrender in the spring of 1880, but he sent Blue Coat and some of the Miwatani warriors back to the Cheyenne River Agency with instructions to cache some weapons, bring some horses as well. Blue Coat set up the San Arc camp on the Cheyenne River just downstream from White Bull, Sitting Bull's nephew, on the north side of the river. This Sharp's saddle ring carbine is a valuable piece of history, as Blue Coat recorded the history of the selection of the head chief of the nations, Sitting Bull. I was told this history by David Bald Eagle, the grandson of White Bull. Now, another thing Wendell told me when I was there, that after the ceremony was over, that Blue Coat said, from now on, we will no longer use these old weapons. Now, this is a percussion, which you had to load a paper patch cartridge and put on a percussion cap to cock it back and fire it. And after he said we will only use the modern weapons, which he presented to Sitting Bull, and trade on those, he broke the hammer spur off of the carbine. As you can see here, it is broken. And when Wendell told me this story, I was amazed. And I thanked the good Lord, and he says, it gets better than that. And I said, well, how could it get better than that? And he said, you have one of the 7 1866 Winchester rifles. And this is one, serial number 27549, that was the Cheyenne rifle that Two Moon gave to Ice, White Bull Ice, to present to Sitting Bull. So there you have that, and I'll read you the quick history on the 1866. During my examination of this 1866 Winchester serial number 27549, I discovered the name Red Bear Cheyenne, written twice in Togia on the right and left sides of the stock, as shown on the illustration 1 and 2 respectively. Red Bear Cheyenne is written several times on the right and left sides of the action, as shown on illustrations 3 and 4. Red Bear Cheyenne is also found and written on the elevator and top side of the action, as shown on illustrations 5 and 6 respectively. Red Bear was born in 1842 to Cheyenne parents. In 1868, married Big Voice, a member of Big Road's Iofi band of Oglala Lakota Sioux. Red Bear fought with Big Road's band of Iofi through the Indian Wars because of his wife's affiliation with the band. He had 13 kids. Red Bear fought at the Greasy Grass Little Bighorn, where I believe he carried this rifle 27549. Red Bear surrendered with Big Road's band in May 1877 with Crazy Horse. After Crazy Horse was killed later, a few months later in September, Red Bear and his family followed Big Road into Canada. They remained there until they surrendered in 1880, and they were sent to the Standing Rock Reservation. And so that ends my story on how Sitting Bull was elected the Supreme Commander. And if you look, you can see each one of the tribe symbols. Here is the Sanark symbol. Here is the Oglala. Remember I told you it was the check mark. Here is the symbol for the Brule. Here, of course, is the Christian fish for the Cheyenne. Here's the X's for the Blackfoot. This is the word headman, and I'll show you that on other pieces later. Here's Sitting Bull's name. Here's the symbol for Hunk Papa, and here is the Mini Kanju symbol. All 7 nations are represented here. There were also Yanktonese that were there at this ceremony. So once again, that ends the story of Sitting Bull. I hope you enjoyed it. It's one of my favorite stories, and I'm so blessed to have these 2 pieces. So God bless you guys. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye.